Welcome back to the review section. So, you talked about the NFL a bit. However, more of the kind of long-term supporters such as Nike and Ben & Jerry's have found that brand activism is really good for business. Brand activism.
Brand activism.
However, this latter point really kind of brings some concern to the table because how many of these companies that have transitioned to support the cause are actually being sincere. So, at this point, supporting Black Lives Matter is about as controversial as supporting Emancipation Proclamation. Basically, it's a no-brainer. No-brainer.
No-brainer.
If some companies are using this situation as more of a marketing tool or sort of like a short-term moral support, what is this going to mean in the long run for that company? Are people going to see through their marketing tool?
Moral support.
Moral support.
In some cases, I don't trust certain companies that they actually really care about the movement.
Right.
More that they know that it would be the right thing to do at the time.
Right.
So, I don't know, it's harder for me to trust those big companies.
Right. So I'm curious, with all this brand movement supporting the group, why do you think so many US brands have actually come out to support the movement? What are maybe some pros and cons of their decision?
Well, I think I'm just going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that they are doing it for the right reasons. They believe that this is the Black Lives Matter movement is supposed to help the world become a better place. And I believe that most people think that. But I guess the main reason would be that it's also just a great way of getting marketing out there. To show support and to look good, to save face is a great way of attracting customers as well. I guess the con might be that if they're not sincerely involved in it, it can also backfire on them to where maybe it looks bad that they use this sort of movement as their marketing strategy.
Right.
What do you think?
I completely agree with you. I really feel as though the uprising of BLM became a lot bigger than companies ever anticipated. So I'm a bit skeptical with a lot of companies, especially the NFL, who's had a past of kind of going against the movement. I really can't trust that organization. However, other organizations such as NASCAR mainly have a Southern audience and maybe kind of are entangled with some racist organizations or people, but they have come out in support of BLM, and I really feel like they are being very sincere. So I will try to trust a lot of these organizations, but it is hard.
Well, what social causes or issues would you like to see companies support and back?
Definitely mental health issues.
Oh, yep.
I think companies, that I feel as though in the West this has been kind of put in a spotlight a bit more.
Yeah, definitely.
But not enough. I feel like, we have Mental Health Week now, but I feel like companies should have programs to support employees and just socially as well. It shouldn't be so frowned upon. So I really believe that that's one of the kind of causes that should be supported.
I'd love to see companies really support the fact that people need a work-life balance. And I think this is something that companies should support because it might also encourage people to go to those companies. Some companies have bad reputations of working too much overtime, and therefore it would be harder for them to flourish in the business world. So that's where I would think we should go into.
Yeah, good point. Okay, well that does it for this unit, and we'll see you in the next one.